Or the little beam of light from God, that's just God telling you to read your Bible today. That's your sign. Anyways, I'm not religious, but I've recently discovered another beautiful thing the local library has to offer, so I wanted to talk to you guys about this. I will be doing like an aesthetic TikTok of this, like I add pictures and make it all pretty and stuff, and like it's concise and I get to the point. I don't ramble for 20 minutes, and I'll also do a long form content with like more detailed information. I have been using my favorite app so far that I found for only a day, and I really only been like using the other one for a day, and one of them I haven't even started using yet. So I'm gonna tell you about Libby, Cloud Library, Hoopla, and Comics Plus. Comics Plus, actually, I'll say right here, I don't know anything about it. I don't think my library has the best selection of comics on Comics Plus, but don't worry. This is for people who live in the Mesa area, who live in Maricopa County. This is for you. I know that's not a lot of people who watch my content, because people don't watch my content on YouTube, so nobody. But also, I know, like, even if I did post this to a larger audience, this would only help so many people. And this is more specific. This isn't me talking about, like, the app itself. It's more me talking about, like, what the app offers. And the thing about these types of apps, it's really dependent on location. So this is more for people who live in my county, but I wanted to talk about them really quick because I'm very excited. We're gonna save the best for last. We're gonna save Hoopla for last. My library doesn't actually have Hoopla. I got a county card, an e-card. It was super easy to do. I'll tell you about that in a sec. But I wanted to tell you about my current loans and holds and stuff on everything. I don't have my holds written down for Libby, just because that's actually my least favorite part of Libby, is there's such a long wait time for the Libby app. I love the Libby app. I think it's really fun. I think it's very cool. I think it's an extremely useful thing to have. If you don't know what the Libby app, if you don't know what any of these apps are, basically they are just ebooks and audiobook apps where you can read ebooks and audiobooks, but you need a library card to access them, and otherwise it's completely free. The one downside is there's wait times, and on the Libby app the wait times can be insane. You can literally be waiting like 4 months for a book. Does that mean you shouldn't use it? No. However, if you're usually, when the libraries tell you about their apps, they usually only talk about Libby, or like people usually only talk about Libby like on social media. There are other options that we're going to discuss, but my current loans on Libby are Carrie, the Stephen King book. I know Stephen King is a weird bitch. I would never actually give him money because I think he's weird. He's one of those people that, like, I know he's weird. I just don't have all the facts and information yet. But he did. I don't know what I'm allowed to say because I want to be employed, and I don't know how my future employer would feel about me saying this. But he wrote those children in it doing some inappropriate things with each other, which is weird. Smut that involves children has and will always be weird. And he also did like a lot of blow while writing, which I get. Like, sometimes you need to get to an altered space to really unpack your potential, but it is like, you know, it's strange. But I really like the original Carrie movie. I haven't seen the new one yet. I don't think I'll like it as much. The original Carrie movie, it genuinely, I'm not a big horror girl, which my sister points out all the time. I actually am a horror girl. I think a lot of horror, this might be a hot take, I don't think horror that is made by men, that centers women's pain, is really ever done right. And you're like, then why are you gonna read Carrie? I'll explain in a sec. I think a lot of horror is just women and people in general being tortured, and it's never from the victim's point of view. It's always from the perpetrators. I really like, I think a lot of horror is like, has that true crime effect where it's like, you know what, let's learn why the serial rapist is the way he is. I don't give a fuck why the serial rapist did what he did. All I need to know is he needs to be removed from the Premisphere, and the Premisphere is Earth. He needs to no longer be on my planet. So I am not the type of person. I don't like anti-heroes. I don't like morally gray characters. That's a hot take. And it's not that I'll never enjoy that. My favorite book I read this year, and probably my favorite book period, is Chlorine by Jade Song, which has horror aspects. It's not a traditional scary house, spooky, scary monster horror, but it's like, it's horrific at points, and it's gory, and it's disturbing, and talks a lot about menstrual horror, which I think is one of the scariest. Like, menstrual and miscarriages and pregnancy horror is so scary to me because I am a woman. I think it's scary in general, but I think it's especially scary because I am a woman. And I felt that was done really well because we got to hear from the perspective of the woman, and also the main character. I don't dislike her at all. I think she was extremely valid in everything she did, but she's also, like, she's a bitch. Like, she's completely a bitch. Like, she's a really bad friend. However, I don't care. Like, I don't care. I just think, it's not that I, like, hate morally gray characters. I don't like them. Like, I will never, you know what, I'm saying this, my favorite DC character is Jason Todd. So, like, obviously I have exceptions. I just think I don't really feel bad for evil men when they're evil, even if their, like, mom didn't love them or their dad was mean to them growing up. I don't care. I don't care. I think what I'm trying to say is I don't like evil, morally gray men. And you're like, are you being a misandrist? Is that how you say that word? Are you discriminating against men? Probably. But I feel like I have the right to, because every single time we have a slightly morally gray female character, people lose their mind. People who hate Scarlet White and Diane from BoJack Horseman, Scarlet White's not from BoJack Horseman, but Scarlet White from Breaking Bad and Diane from BoJack Horseman are terrible people, and you need to run. I haven't seen either of those shows, and I know they are terrible people, and you need to run. I'm not saying you have to, especially Diane, like, I'm not saying you have to, like, love her, but if you think BoJack is correct in anything he does, and that's the thing, and I don't think, obviously BoJack is an amazing written show, and I think it says incredible things. However, I have no sympathy for that man. I think people who feel bad for him are weird. I think people that are sad for him are weird. I think people that make excuses for him are weird. But I watched the movie Carrie with, like, some of my friends, and I was like, this is so good. And then when my friend, she, like, wrote, like, an essay about it in high school, she's like, yeah, Stephen King wrote this when he, like, taught middle schoolers about, like, what it's like growing up as, like, a female in, like, high school, and, like, how isolating it can be. And I'm like, I don't know what Stephen King has to say about this, but this movie is amazing, so I want to read it. I don't really ever DNF books. The only time I DNF books is, like, it's never because I dislike the book. It's because, like, I don't have time for it, or, like, I'm just, like, I'm not in the mood for it, and I always soft DNF. I don't think I've ever, like, officially DNF'd a book ever. To be fair, I'm, like, new to reading as an adult. I'm 19. I feel like when most people say I read as an adult, they mean, like, the outside of school. I haven't even started college yet, so, you know. But I am going to read Carrie just because I'm curious, and I also have a bad relationship with my mother, and my mother, hold on. My mother is extremely religious, so I definitely think it's gonna trigger me for sure. I think it's gonna make me very uncomfortable and very sad, but I do think if I do read it, I think it'd be like, and again, I'm not gonna read really any, I don't care to read any of his other works. None of them interest me, but I do think, like, if I read his other works, I think, like, Carrie would be, like, one of his best. So I'm curious to hear her perspective. I think it's told from her perspective, but I'm like betting, like, my little entire family that it's their lives, that it's third person. So I'm excited for that. Anyways, that's gonna be my next read after my current read. I just needed something light and lovely. My last read I read was Wings of Starlight, which is like a Tinkerbell book. It takes place in the Pixie Hollow universe. It was good. Here's the thing, if I was rating it on, like, how well and good I thought the book was, I'd probably give it a solid, alright. 3 stars. 3 stars. I'd give it like a 3-star. It wasn't poorly written by any means. It wasn't like bad. Honestly, I do think like I thought the same when I started reading The Rise of Kyoshi as like an 8th grader, which is a book that takes place in the Avatar Last Airbender universe. I was like, I'm nervous that this is gonna be like a cash grab. I do think Wings of Starlight is kind of a cash grab. However, I don't think that's the author's fault. I think she did a really good job. Sometimes you'll read a book. One time when I was like young, read the only time I DNF'd a book was like I was in the 7th grade. It was COVID, and I was like, I want to read a book. And so, we didn't have money for this, but my dad was like, pick out a book on Walmart, like, go find one. So I pick out this Mother Gothel from Tangled book, and it's like learning her backstory. And I guess this was like off to a bad start, because even as a kid, I didn't fuck with villains. But I start reading it, and it's genuinely dog shit. And I didn't finish it. And I got rid of it because it was genuinely dog shit. It was so bad. So I've had trauma ever since. But Kyoshi's really good. Kyoshi's a really good book. And also, Wings of Starlight was genuinely well written. It's just, like, I didn't feel super attached to any of the characters or to the plot, and it wasn't, like, mind-blowing. I think the reason, I give it a 3.75, and I think the reason it got, like, a higher rating than it would have is because it's, like, exactly what I needed. Here's the thing. I one time told this to my sister, who's a bitch. Yeah, I'm saying it. And they're like, yeah, that's extremely obvious. And I was like, okay, well, it's not obvious to everyone. It's important to have media that doesn't take much brain power instead of your phone. Like, I think when people think they should replace their phone with media, they're like, I'm gonna watch Interstellar. What's another? I'm gonna watch BoJack Horseman. I'm gonna watch Breaking Bad. It's like, no, watch something simple. And it's not that silly, more easily attained media can't be deep and complex. Heat or Rivalry is a great example where it has extremely deep concepts, and I think I love that show. I will not take criticism. But also, like, it is, like, it's easier on the brain. Art stuff that's, like, really easy on the brain, like Tinkerbell. It's like, yeah, that's, like, easy, but, like, it's so much better than scrolling through you. It's literally so much better. There's so much more effort put into it, so much art. And that goes with books, too. Like, you don't need to read The Odyssey to say you're reading a book. You can read, like, I don't want to give examples because I don't want it to, especially, like, I don't want to give examples of, like, smutty romance books written by women because I don't want to demean them and say that they're not as important. All I'm saying is, like, you can have art that's, like, easy and lighthearted and, like, and The Wings of Starlight doesn't even have a happy ending. Really. I thought it was. I was like, Disney's, of course. I thought Wings of Starlight was going to have a time gap where it was, like, before Secret of the Wings and after Secret of the Wings. It didn't, which did surprise me. I thought then I was like, okay, then the sequel is going to be after Secret of the Wings. No, they just don't get their happy ending. I was like, oh. Okay, well, that sucks. Anyways, it was good. It was fun. It was exactly what I needed. I'm currently reading another romance book because it's what I need. I was going to read Sunrise on the Reaping. I can't do that in my mental state. I am not doing well right now mentally. If I read Sunrise on the Reaping, I would end up in a mental institution. I wouldn't ever come out. I'd live the rest of my life there repeating, I don't know, what's a quote from Sunrise on the Reaping? I don't even know because I haven't read the book, but I've seen stuff on TikTok. Just repeating how I want to kill Cornelius Snow, and I want him dead. Forever. Repeating, watching my sister turn into a Human Torch. Repeating, that was her baby, he killed her baby. Talking about Gale killing Prim accidentally, but still. That would be me for the rest of my life. Anyways, the other is I have Batman Year One. I just searched up Batman comics that were, like, really good, and this was recommended, and it's one of the few Batman comics the Libby app had. So, like, you know what? Fuck it, we will. I'll do this. It is good so far. I was very confused when I started it. I'm only, like, 14% through. I actually plan to finish it tonight. So, I'll update you in a later video if I do and when I finish it. Hopefully tonight, though. Well, first let me say this. I actually saw a video about it, I was like 10% through and I saw a video about it, and it was like people being like, you should read Batman one, and the girl will be like, I'm not gonna read curvy writing, because if you don't know, for some fucking reason, all of Bruce Wayne's internal thoughts are written in cursive. And then somebody went, oh, I love how you call cursive curvy writing, and the girl responded, English isn't my first language. It's not called curvy writing. And that was really funny to me. I was like, that's actually very interesting. Like, I'm not trying to make fun of anybody whose English isn't their first language. I feel like people who don't speak English would feel the same for other languages, where like they say something they think is completely correct, and then people are like, oh, that's so funny that you said it that way. It's like, that's not how it is. I thought it was cute. I was like, I like language. But I'm reading that right now, and it is fun. It's very fun. Sorry, I was about to spoil something. Sorry. It is very fun, very cutesy. Sorry, sometimes I speak, and I don't know why I say this thing that it is not cutesy at all. Why did I say that? Batman Year One, cutesy. Okay, I was very confused. I guess Barbara Oracle is named after her mom, and so it was like Barbara's pregnant. I was like, Batgirl's pregnant? And I was like, this is Batman Year One. What is Batgirl doing here? And then I was like, I forget the fuck. I don't even. It's like Junior. So he's literally. They're so uncreative. They just gave the kids their names. And she's like, Timmy Jr. is. I'm like, who is Timmy Jr.? And then at one point it was like, you have a baby on the way. I was like, he doesn't have a baby on the way. His daughter does. I realized my mistake a little too late. Anyways, okay. So the next app I'm using is Cloud Library. Both the apps I'm using that aren't Libby, I guess Comic Plus too, but I'm not really using that, were recommended to me by a librarian, because I was like, oh my god, Libby wait times are awful, and he was like, we have more options. And so Cloud Library is the second option for my library, my local library, which is the Mesa Public Libraries. And the wait times are so good. Sometimes they're a little too, but they're so much better. So the longest wait time I have on here is the Rainbow Rulebook Cherry Baby, and it's 3 months. I actually am also on hold for this, for my, for the physical book, but I'm gonna listen to it again on the audiobook, because I love the girl who narrates the, Rainbow Rulebooks. Like, genuinely, her voice could lull me to sleep. I love it so much. She could say literally anything, and I would just be like, ah. And I feel like it embodies Rainbow Rul's characters. Every single one, I feel like it embodies them perfectly. So, I love her. But otherwise, I've Not in Love audiobook. The audiobook, which is an Allie Hazelwood book, it's gonna be here in 2 days. Yeah. That's the shortest wait time. And also what I like about Libby is, about Cloud Library and also Hoopla, is Libby won't give you exact days. It will just give you like 2 weeks, several months, available soon. This gives you like 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, and I really appreciate that. And then I have Bride. The Bride audiobook still has a long wait time on Cloud Library. It's 2 months, which like isn't awful, but I'm just like, I'm not gonna wait that long. Especially because I have the physical book right now. So I was like, I'm going to read it soon. So I got the ebook so I can bounce back between the physical and the ebook. I love ebooks. I think they're really fun. I love them. Okay, so for Hoopla. My library doesn't actually have Hoopla, but my county library does. And basically how the county library works is you can just get an e-card and get Hoopla. It's very fun. And so I got it, and I'm so excited. They have so many Batman comics, but they had the Game Changer series all available. And I've read 3 of the Game Changer series out of order. I started with Heat of Rivalry, read Tough Guy, read Game Changer. I did not like Game Changer. I cannot stand Scott and Kip. They annoy me. Hot take. However, I'm reading Common Goal, and I love it! And then next is Tough Guy, and then Long Game. So, that's exciting, that's fun, I'm really enjoying it so far. I just need something light and fluffy and yum, 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 yum. I feel like the deepest, Long Game's probably also going to be really emotional, but I feel like the deepest one so far was Game Changer, just because, like, it really battled the topic of, like, homophobia and male-centered sports. But I really really enjoyed Tough Guy and Heated Rivalry, and I'm really enjoying Common Goal. I think it's really fun so far. I really like it. It's fun. It's cool. But I have heard people say Role Model is their favorite, so I'm excited for that. I kind of made it a point to read the whole, not a point, but once I realized I was doing it, I was like, I'm going to commit to the bit, and I just read the whole series out of order. So the only thing is, like, I will read Long Game last. I refuse to read it before anything else. I will read it last. And I know there's how many books is that? It's like 6? Yes, there's going to be a 7th book coming out, this year, so I have to finish, so I'm excited. Okay, now for the Batman comics. They have so many. They have one I wanted to read, but I've been checking for. They don't have it at my physical library. They don't have it on Libby. They don't have it on Cloud Library. They don't have it on Comics Plus, but they have it on Hoopla. I am a Jason Todd girl. Actually, if you're like, you're a Batman girl? I actually haven't read Absolute Batman yet, so please don't come for me, but wait, hold on, I'll just turn it around. Can you see? No, you can't. Okay. Can you see now? Yes. Got this for my birthday, and I really do love it. I'm a Batman girl. I got into Batman last year, and I've really loved it ever since. My favorite character is Jason Todd. I love him so much. My second favorite character is Roy Harper, but I don't know as much about him. The vibes are immaculate. My favorite female character, I don't know. The Batgirls are all so cool. I don't know much about them, though. I would love to learn more about them, but I really love Starfire and Raven. Basic, I know. I love them. I love them so much. I love him so much. So I got a Batman and Robin Jason Todd comic that I'm gonna read, but there's so many. They even have Tim Drake comments. I've only looked for Nightwing. They have a bunch of Nightwing comics. Jason Todd / Red Hood and Tim Drake. I haven't searched up even Red Robin yet, so I'll probably do that later. But I haven't searched up any Damian Wayne yet. I haven't searched up any of him, and I haven't searched up any like Teen Titans stuff yet, or like any for the Batgirls. But the female Robins, I am so excited because they have Death in the Family. Yes, I'm gonna read about Jason Todd getting brutally murdered. Yes. However, the one thing I've heard about Death in the Family that I do not like is they have like weirdly a large amount of anti-Middle East propaganda. I don't fuck with that. I don't fuck with that at all. I think the only people we should make anti-propaganda for are the people who are committing genocide. That's not what this video is about, but I'm not afraid to share my political beliefs. I never have been. I understand people like don't want to make their videos about something they're not. However, it's not weird at all for me to say I really think it's weird. I would think it's weird to spread any anti-propaganda for countries unless they're genuinely doing something wrong. Like, just to randomly say I fucking hate Africa, fuck Africa, fuck Africa. What did Africa do to you? And also, what does Africa have to do with Jason Todd getting beat to death by a crowbar? So I'm not excited for that, so I know it will not be a 5-star because of that. I know it won't. But I am very excited to read it. It's like the quintessential Jason Todd thing. They have Outlaws. Webtoons also has Outlaws. But I would prefer to read it on the library. I'm the type of person that, like, even if I own the book, even if I can get the book elsewhere, if I can get it through the library, I will, just because I'm a big library supporter. I love my local library. But yeah, I'm so excited to read Jason Todd! And Nightwing, and Tim Drake, and Damian, and Stephanie, and Cassandra, and Oracle. I'm so excited. Princess. So yeah. I just want to talk about that. But go support your local libraries. This is also one of the reasons I like love the like apps you can use for libraries is not everyone can leave their house either because like they can't afford to. Like, how can you not afford to leave your house? Gas, bitch. Like some of us, you can't be taking trips every day. Some people are chronically ill, disabled, mentally disabled, and it makes it hard to leave the house. So I think this is a really great way to support your library, but also it's a great way for the library to support its patrons and make it much easier. Also, audiobooks and ebooks are much more accessible often, and it is important that we let people enjoy reading the way they want to enjoy reading. I don't really care what you're reading, fanfic, articles, poetry, comics, graphic novels, physical books, ebooks, audiobooks. I don't care as long as you're reading. And I feel like we really need to take that mentality into 2026. I know we're like balls deep into 2026, but I feel like we need to like really take that mentality in the future. I don't care what you're reading as long as you're reading. There's a literacy crisis. I don't care if you're reading romance that has zero plot. Babe, you're reading. And the people who criticize you don't read usually, or they just read about women being brutally tortured and call it intellectualism. They read racist white men and call it intellectualism. But God forbid you pick up that Emily Henry book. God forbid. Anyways, that's my hot take. Please go read. Please go support your library. Get an e-card, get a physical card. I don't really care. Do something. And also read Batman comics, because they're cool. And also, if you live in the Maricopa County area, and you're like, I've wanted to read the Game Changer series forever, but it's like never available on Libby, and I can afford to buy the audiobooks, or physical books, I'm pretty sure both ebooks and audiobooks are available for every single book in the series. Mona Silence. Right. Yeah. Okay, that's all. Love you, bye.